Welcome, everybody, to the Lowdown on RiderTown with the Cedar Rapids RoughRiders, 98.1 KHAK, 94.1 KRNA. Chad Cooper here with you. It is our finale. It's the final show of this year for the Lowdown on RiderTown. We've had a historic year on the Lowdown, including our first ever interview of a Rider alum, and last week we had player guest hosts. I think that's the first time we ever had that on the Lowdown, so that's pretty impressive. Both did a good job when I was out last week, so want to thank both Max and Chase for filling in last week for me. Also want to get out some other thank yous before we get into the questions tonight, because as I mentioned, this is our finale. At the end of the show, we will draw for that autographed team jersey. You can still sign up for that if you haven't had a chance yet. I think the box is in the back, so you can sign up for that if you haven't had a chance. We'll draw immediately after the interview portion of the show is over. And then, of course, it's karaoke. We're going to have some singing after we have the show tonight as well. So a lot of good things happening. Feel free to stick around. It should be a good time right here on the Lowdown. I want to thank the Union Station for having us these past 5 years on the show. That's right, 5 years of the Lowdown on RiderTown. The past few years we've been in this beautiful space. It's actually right behind the main Union Station. Great space to have this show each and every Tuesday night. Also want to thank the Union Station's staff. They're taking care of you throughout every Tuesday night. Make sure you take care of them tonight as well. Want to thank them for doing all the work each and every Tuesday night. Rick Boots, photography. Want to thank him for coming out taking the photos each and every week. Of course, this is a radio show, but it helps to have the visuals. The priority is so that you guys can put faces to names and voices of the players, but also when you go, Chad, when you say, Coop, you say you're wearing this floral blazer tonight. We can hear it on air, but we want to see it. Well, you can look at those photos. You can see this floral blazer. We're breaking it out for the finale. I'm calling it the flower finale, breaking out this blazer. So we're all in good spirits here. I want to thank the Metro Studios for setting up the audio for us each and every week. All I have to do is come in, hook up the recorder, and get the volume checked, so we're good on that. I want to thank Matt and Ginny for the karaoke tonight. That's what we're going to have after the show. The Rough Riders Booster Club, the Housing Families, and Tammy Carlson. They give me all that information each and every week. They make my job pretty easy. I do about 50% of the work to get the questions. Then I wait for those emails to come flooding through so I get the lowdown on the players. Also want to thank Coach and the players for showing up each and every week, taking a little time out of their practice schedule, out of their game schedule to come on the show. And most of all, last but not least, want to thank the fans, all of you guys for coming out each and every week. Round of applause for that. Of course, this year, this has been kind of a crazy year because of the weather, throwing us a few curveballs, but we've hung with it, and we're getting all the shows in. So that's been a great testament to you guys showing up each and every week. Now, on our finale tonight, we're joined up on stage by head coach Mark Carlson, but also by players Nathan Smith, Max Sassoon, and Bennett Zmolik. So we had Max and Chase Hampstead hosted the show last week. And Max, I'm going to start with you. I was kind of asking you before we actually got on the mics, but how'd that go last week? What'd you think of the experience getting up here hosting?
Yeah, it was actually a lot harder than it looks. Coop does an unbelievable job, and it's just really tough, like asking the questions, and he's really good at following up with the questions, and we really had no clue how hard it was, but we got 10 minutes into the show, and Chase turned to me and he said, I think that's all we have left. And I was like, I said, Chase, we have 20 more minutes, so kind of improvised there, but no, it was fun and good time.
Now, Max, I saw the pictures. You guys broke out the blazers, too. Yeah, I mean, it was looking good up here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Coach, I got to ask you to follow up. What'd you think? How'd you think the guys did? And they were dressed to impress, I thought, from the pictures I saw.
Yeah, they definitely had the blazers going. I thought they did a really nice job, filling in and doing it for the first time. And but no, it's pretty tough to beat Coop, though. You know what I mean?
Well, I think you guys are being too kind. I'll stay humble in this. It's tough to stay humble when you're wearing a floral blazer, but I'm going to try. Now, guys, Nathan, I'll start on your end. As we do when the players come on the show, especially for the first time in the year, we like to ask where they're from and how they got here with the Rough Riders. Can you kind of tell us your journey to get here to Cedar Rapids?
Yeah, I'm Nathan Smith. I'm from Tampa, Florida. I was scouted at a tournament 2 years ago now. And I got an invite to camp and ended up making the team.
Now, Bennett, how about you? Where are you from, and how'd you get here with the Rough Riders?
I'm Bennett Zmolik. I'm from Rochester, Minnesota. I got drafted a year ago in the futures pick, and then I came to camp and I wasn't ready yet, and then after my high school season this year, I got the call.
And then, Max, I'll wrap up with you, where you're from and how you got here with the Riders.
I'm from Detroit, Michigan, and I got to the Rough Riders. I got invited to the 40-man camp in August, and I was lucky enough to make the team. So.
Now, I've been doing this with each of the players, and Nathan, I'll start on your end. I've been kind of as a gateway to the questions, if they can remember the first hockey game they ever attended. Can you remember the first hockey game you ever went to?
I think it was a roller hockey game. My friend, my old house, we actually lived in Hudson, but it was a friend down the street, and he played roller hockey, and so I always played street hockey with him outside, and he invited me to one of his games, so that's pretty much how I got started playing.
That kind of segues into my question, and this might be an obvious, might even be a cliche question, but you're from Florida originally. How does a Florida kid get into hockey? We don't always associate Florida and hockey together.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I started with street hockey with my friend, and then went to one of his games and told my dad I wanted to try it. And that was when I was 6, and I didn't start ice until I was 11, so.
And Bennett, how about you? You remember the first NHL or hockey game you ever attended?
It was either a Minnesota Wild game or watching my brothers play hockey. I don't really remember.
Now, you come from a hockey family as well.
Yeah.
And we got some hockey connection, but not just hockey connection, specifically Rough Riders connection. Obviously, a lot of people recognize the last name. Your brothers have gone through the franchise as well. What's that been like?
It's been awesome. I've been able to watch Rough Rider games for 4 years now, or 3 years now. It's been awesome to come to games and watch them.
Now, did your brothers do a little recruiting on their behalf? Like, hey, the Riders, this is a good spot to play. How's that work when when it's all in the family like that?
I have no clue. I don't think they did.
Okay. Well, Max, can you remember your first game you ever attended hockey-wise?
Yeah, I think it was a Plymouth Whaler game where my Mite team got to go skate on the ice, so, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now, Coach, with the Zmolik connection, I was going to ask you, is that a Riders record for most family members that have gone through the franchise? Does that set a mark?
Oh, yeah, that's for
sure.
sure, and it's going to stand for a long time, I think.
Now does that set up a pretty good care? You don't have to do too much digging when you've had two brothers in here before. The character work has to be pretty easy, I would assume.
Well, that's a big reason why they're all here. I mean, obviously they're all very good players, and they have a lot of similar characteristics for sure. And once we had Senior Pug here, we knew we wanted to get the other two at some point, and we feel really fortunate to have all of them.
And now it's all in the family here. Now, Nate, you're committed to Minnesota State, correct? What went into that decision? How'd you decide?
I visited the campus. It was a great campus. I couldn't find anything wrong with it. The coaches and everything, they just seemed so, into helping the players and very supportive. So great facilities and everything else too. So it was.
And you're repping the team already too, up on stage. It's a good job. Bennett, also Minnesota State, correct?
Yeah.
What went into your decision?
Like he said, the coaches were really the high part for me because they seemed like they really cared, and also everything around in that environment was unreal.
Now, what's it like to be Rough Riders teammates and then eventually collegiate teammates? What's that experience you think going to be like?
If I get to do that, I think it'll be awesome.
That seems pretty cool. Now, Max, you've committed to the University of Maine, correct?
Correct.
What was that recruiting process like, and how'd you finally decide on Maine?
Yeah, I went out for a visit, and I went to their senior night game, and the Alphon, the fans are just crazy. There's 7,000 people screaming, and this team was a below 500 team, so it was just crazy to me how into it the fans were, and the tradition up there is just great, so it was an easy decision.
Now, we have the banner up behind us here. You guys have postseason hockey in the mix, so that's pretty cool. Now, guys, what's it like to know you're going to have postseason hockey, playoff hockey? Nate, I'll start with you and ask you.
It's good. I mean, we have to just keep getting better every day. We still have 2 regular season games to go, so to know that you're playing, though, is good. It's always nice to play more hockey.
Bennett, how about you getting a little postseason action in?
I think it'll be awesome, but like he said, we're going to have to keep grinding and keep working hard and getting better every day.
And then Max, same thoughts from you?
Yeah, same thoughts. Just focusing on Friday for now, and then we'll go from there.
All right, you guys have been, coaches taught you guys well. That's a good narrative. Now, Nate, a pretty cool moment from this past summer I read about. Drafted in the 3rd round of the NHL draft. That's cool for any player who has hockey aspirations. Winnipeg Jets, what was that moment like for you, and what's that experience like when you see your name pop up on the screen?
It's unbelievable. I mean, I wasn't expecting it, to be honest. I'm just sitting there with my family, and the name pops up, so everybody's pretty excited about it.
And now, Bennett, I always search the players' names on Google. I do a little digging in addition to the emails that I get from the housing families. And this year, usually in past years, this has always kind of popped up for at least 1 or 2 players, but at least in my research, it took until the last week of the show for this to pop up for a player. Hockeyfights.com, you've got a feature on there. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty good one, too.
Yeah.
Like, they even captured it on the camera, right? Like, you guys dropped gloves and the whole 9.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you shared that at all?
I haven't shared it, no.
No, but you know it's out there.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Max, Nate, have you guys seen it? Are you aware this video's flown around?
Yeah, Booter's not giving himself enough credit. This kid that he fought probably has 10 to 12 USHL fights. So he's an 02 and he's a 99. So it was just great, so impressive.
Yeah, I mean, if I can, yeah, exactly. Round of applause for that. If I can break beyond the host role and just be a fight commentator, I thought you held your own. I thought it was a good job, Bennett.
Thank you.
Yes. Nate, any comments on the fight from your aspects?
It was a great fight. I mean, we didn't expect Booter. It was like, what was your 2nd game or something?
Yeah, something like
And
that.
this kid just like got pissed at him or something, and Booter just kind of beat him up.
Now, Bennett, the best part about that video, I thought, was when they showed you going off the ice and the hair was just flowing. It was looking good.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was looking good. Now, Max, everyone I think in the crowd probably knows this. This went kind of viral locally and then nationally even. You step in, not just on the ice, but to sing the national anthem a couple weeks ago. Round of applause for that. That's pretty impressive. Now, when I saw that, the question in my mind is, how did that all come up? I mean, when did you know? How far in advance did you know you were going to have to do this? What did this whole experience shape up like?
Yeah, Monday night, I got a group message popped up, and it said it was messages with Tammy, and it's Poland suggested that, because the person canceled, so Poland suggested that he said Sass is a good singer, to quote him, and she said, do you think he would do it? And pretty much he sent that in the group chat, and all the guys were like, you have to do it, you have to do it, you have to do it. But I was happy to do it, and so yeah, and then Tuesday I really didn't even know that it was going to happen, and then talked to Tammy and got it figured out, and then from there, the rest is history.
Now, through all your hockey career, playing all your games throughout all levels, is that the most nervous you've been about anything, or was that just kind of like, I think I got this, no big deal?
No, I think the most nervous I was a couple days later when I got on the NHL Network, because I knew everyone.
Oh, you got some. We hear some groans from the back there.
Yeah. I think I was very nervous because I just knew that, like, anyone who watches hockey watches that show, so
Yeah.
they were going to be listening to my words. So.
Right. So now, I mean, you search your name, and that's the first thing that pops up, those NHL videos.
Yeah, I really wasn't that nervous for the anthem, I'm not going to lie. But.
All right, that's pretty smooth.
Yeah.
Nate, how'd you think he did?
I give him credit for getting up there. I mean, I probably wouldn't have had the balls to do it, but he did mess up a few words. But overall, I give him pretty good.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Bennett, how about you? What'd you think?
I thought he did really good for it being his first time.
More like it, Bennett.
I'm just being honest.
Now, for right now, it seems like Bennett gave him thumbs up. Nate kind of wavered at the start and then kind of leveled off. Coach, it's a democracy here. What'd you think? How'd you think Max did?
I mean, I think to get up there as an athlete before a game and you've never sung before and to do the job that he did, I thought it was big-time stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Now, speaking of singing, it is karaoke night. So, I mean, you guys are going to be up here singing some more. I have to ask you, and you don't have to give away any secrets if you don't want to, but do you have any ideas in mind of what you're going to sing? Nate?
Yeah, we know what we're singing.
All right. Is it a group situation?
Yeah.
All right. Bennett?
Group as well.
Group as well. Are
Yeah.
you in it with Nate? Max, how about you?
Yeah, it's a group, and
We're all in separate
Yeah, we're all in
groups.
separate groups.
Okay, now I also don't want you guys, because I want this all to be a surprise too, but in the past couple years where we've done karaoke, the singing is impressive, but the outfits too. You guys play it up, like there are different themes to everything. Is there a theme for tonight, Nate?
We don't have a theme, actually. We're just kind of winging
Just winging it?
Yeah.
Bennett, how about your group?
Yeah, we're just winging it.
Just winging it? Max?
Our voices will do the talking.
Okay, I like it. I like it. Now, I thought maybe there was a theme because when I was walking in, I noticed some jorts. Is that part of a karaoke theme, or is that just a style?
No, that
statement?
is part of something.
That is
I won't
part-
give it away, though.
Okay. We did hear earlier this year, I think it might even been on the first show, just a love for denim on denim, the Canadian tuxedo. Where do you guys fall on that debate? Max, I'll ask you.
Not a big fan.
Not a big fan. Bennett, how do you feel about denim on denim?
Yeah, not a big fan either.
And Nate, how about you?
Same, yeah.
Same? All right, so we got no's across the board on that one. How about the best singer on the team? Max, I'll start with you. I'll ask you. I mean, you're kind of in the singing limelight right now, but who do you think?
Gotta give it to Hank. Has a very good voice, Joe Hankinson. So
All right.
we'll give it to Hank.
All right, Bennett, how about you?
I'll give it to Max since I haven't heard anyone else.
Good answer, good answer. Nate, how about you?
I like Sass as Hank because he's in my group. Hopefully make us look pretty good. I got to go with Sass, too, though. He's pretty good.
Okay, and Coach, I'll ask you, of your experience, if you've heard any of the guys other than Max, do you have an inkling of who might be the best singer on the squad?
No, we're going to find out pretty soon.
We're going to find out, yeah, just a few minutes. All right, so we have the housing family questions coming up. Those should be good. But before that, as a guy who follows hockey but really has never played hockey, sometimes a guy like me, an outside spectator, they get interested in things that you guys might take for granted. One of the things when I was at a game this year, I thought, I got to ask this during the lowdown, and I kept forgetting. But now that we got a packed house tonight and a packed stage, I got to ask you guys, and I'll go down the line. Nate, I'll start with you. When you guys hurdle the boards, coming in and off the ice for line changes, how hard is that to master? Some of you guys are really impressive. Just like down to an art, very streamlined.
Very easy, yeah.
Very easy?
Yeah.
Like when you started playing hockey, was that one of the first things you had to do?
No.
No?
No, you just, like, as you get older, you just kind of, I don't know, you stop opening the door, like a little kid anymore. So
Right.
Everybody hops the boards now.
Because I've seen some videos on YouTube of where it's not gone so hot. Like people have crashed into each other or gone head over heels over into it. It's not been so hot.
No, it's easy.
Yeah. Bennett, is it pretty easy for you? Come naturally?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Like high school hockey, that's when it all started.
Yeah. Max, how about you?
Yeah, it's actually funny you asked that. A couple years ago, I was in the semifinal game of a tournament, and I hopped the bench, big benches over in Canada, and I fell right on my hip and was not able to play in the championship because of it. So,
Oh, wow, that's a bummer.
yeah, but I think I got it mastered now. So.
Yeah. Coach, I have to ask you, in all your years of coaching, have you ever seen some nasty spills when it comes time to those line changes?
No, the only thing sometimes we need reminders on is if you hop over a little bit early and the puck is coming, that you probably shouldn't touch it.
Right. That's a good lesson.
That ends up in too many men on the ice.
Yeah, that seems like a good lesson learned.
Yeah.
So the Riders have two upcoming games this weekend. Fargo is at the Stable on Friday. That happens to be the final regular season home game. Obviously, there's playoff action, but also fan appreciation night. So we thank you guys for coming out each and every week for the lowdown. It's going to be a great opportunity to thank all of you on Friday night out at the Stable. And then on Saturday, the Riders take it on the road to Central Illinois. That's on Saturday. So inside the Stable on Friday, on the road on Saturday. All right, so guys, we're going to get into the housing family questions, and I always like to ask before we jump into these, are you guys scared at all of what has come up out of this? Nate, I'll ask you first.
I don't think so. I think we're pretty good.
Think you're pretty safe?
Yeah.
Bennett, how about you?
Safe as well.
Max?
Pretty safe.
Pretty safe? Okay. First, I'll have you guys, Max, I'll keep this with you on this one. Tell me a little bit about who you live with and what's that experience been like.
I live with Missy and Sean Alberts, and it's actually their first year, and they've just done such a good job taking me in, feeding me every night, always being there to talk, and yeah, I love it. It's like a home away from home, and just a great billet family. And I actually billeted last year, and it really just shows how much respect I have for them because how much I like them and how much I feel at home living there. So.
Very cool. Bennett, how about you? Who do you live with and what's it been like?
Dave and Lori Shug, and it's been unreal. Like he said, it's a home away from home. They treat you very well, feed you, so it's good.
And Nate, how about you?
I live with Jen and Jay Scheffner for my second year now. It really has been a home away from home. It's their last year billeting, so I'm kind of glad that, I get to be the last ones, and they've been great to me. They always make the best dinner, so I'm grateful for that.
They're going out on top.
Yeah, and the three rascals I kind of share the house with, they're fun to be with too.
Now, Max, I've seen a lot of funny things come through the emails. This one was funny just because of the opening line. The message from your family said, we weren't sure at the start if we're going to be the right fit for this kid, and the whole reason was you don't like cheese?
Yeah, I don't mind it, but I prefer without cheese for sure. And I had a bad experience eating like cheesy pasta before a game one time, so ever since then I really don't like it too much. So
Now, you don't have to get too graphic for the people out in the audience, but I assume it's a sick sort of situation, or what happened with the cheese?
yeah, I just felt slow and sluggish.
Yeah.
So I just stick away from it now.
Now, so what are the dishes? What compromise have you guys come to? What do you like to eat? What do they make that you avoid the cheese, but it still tastes good? It's right up your alley.
Yeah, so Sean, me and him share a love for fish. And I guess he's really happy that I moved in because Missy does not like fish at all. So it's been really good for him to, because he says that he's very happy to have me so we can finally eat salmon. So lots of salmon, lots of pork, lots of meat. But, I mean, they do a good job of, like, when there's cheese, they'll put half on or something. So
That's what they said, yeah.
Yeah.
So salmon is the go-to fish.
Oh, yeah, go-to.
For sure.
Yeah.
Bennett, how about you? Have a favorite housing family meal?
Pretty much anything they make is unbelievable.
All right.
I like a lot of other things they make.
That's a good answer. Nate, how about you? Anything that sticks out in your mind?
I really like meatloaf and the grilled chicken. When they make grilled chicken and Brussels sprouts, it's a good meal.
Now, Nate, you also live with another rider, correct?
Not anymore.
Not anymore, but what was that experience like when you guys were teamed up in the same housing, in the same house together?
It's a lot of fun. You know, we get to just talk about anything and just play jokes on each other, joke around all the time. And so it sucks that he's gone now, but hopefully he's at home getting better. So
Now, I heard the one joke or the one prank was hiding the Xbox controllers. I heard that happens on the regular. Can you verify that?
I can. So like on a Friday or Saturday, usually on a Saturday if we have a home game, we go to the rink, have our morning skate, and I come back, and I usually nap around 3. So they always play Xbox, and I decided to take the controllers from them because they're really loud and they scream all the time. So I hid the controllers, and I didn't give them back when I went to the game. And I don't know if they ever found them or not, but did you?
Yeah, someone yelled out they did, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's a little cannon.
Do you remember where you hid them at?
I hide them every game now, every home game.
Okay.
So.
You don't want to give away your spot.
I got different spots.
Yeah, you got different spots.
Yeah.
Now, do they ever then have to retaliate? Have they ever pranked you on anything?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they had my controller too.
Oh, okay, so they come back.
Yeah.
Is that the best thing they've done, or has this gotten even crazier from time to time?
I think that's the only thing they've done.
No, okay. Now, Max, this is what I heard as far as the situation with this is that obviously when you're with the RoughRiders, you're learning how to play in the USHL, but also when you're with your housing family, you're learning some life skills too. So laundry, I heard it was a situation once. I heard that you want to do some laundry. Then there was something where you're throwing dryer sheets in the washer. Then you wanted to use bleach. These are just like tidbits that I've heard.
Yeah, I threw my laundry in there, and it came out with a dry. Like they usually throw it in the dryer for me, and it came out with a sheet, and I had never really known what that was. So I was putting in the laundry, and I was like, Missy, I was putting in the sheets, and she goes, "What are you doing?" And I was like, well, I'm just putting the sheet in. Like, that's what you're supposed to do, right? She's like, no, that's for the dryer. So, yeah, I learned that way that they're not for the dryer. And
luckily, she stopped you on the bleach thing, too.
Yeah,
I could have ruined those clothes real fast.
I don't really remember why I was going to use bleach, but I think I had a stain or something, but I was about to pour it all over my clothes, and that probably wouldn't have been good.
Yeah, this Rough Rider sweatshirt would have been like a little dotted, a little spotted right now. Yeah,
it wouldn't have looked good.
Now, Coach, do you know anything about these player life lessons? Like, are there any funny stories that have trickled through to you? I mean, I'm thinking about laundry, but also some of the other stuff we've heard throughout the years.
No, I can't think of anything right now.
Nothing
these
crazy?
these are all good ones.
These
for
are all
sure.
pretty good.
Yeah.
And now, Bennett, your dad played NHL hockey, correct?
Yeah.
What's it like growing up in a hockey family when you have a dad who's reached the peak level? What's that like when you go back and forth and you want to get involved in the game as well?
It's awesome. He helps me out a lot. My whole family does. We all push each other to the max, so it's helpful.
Now, Nate, as a player growing up in Florida where necessarily hockey isn't synonymous with Florida, when you tell your parents, hey, I want to follow this dream, I want to, in this case, travel up to the Midwest, play hockey, and then try to pursue this as a collegiate and maybe even professional path, what do your parents think about that? What's the support like from your family?
100% support. They're always with me, like with anything I want to do, and I'm grateful for that. They support me in everything I do. So.
Now, Nate, I'll stick with you on this one. This is a housing family question. I heard, and you can dispute this if you disagree. Terrible cook. So I heard about you. Is this?
I'm a terrible cook?
Yeah, I heard that you're bad.
That's false.
That's false? Okay. What's the best thing you make? What do you think you got down to?
Probably peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
It takes a true master. You got to get that down. I heard there was a cooking or an eggs incident that kind of went awry. I heard you didn't turn the burner on even, and then things didn't happen.
Oh God, yeah. Merrick was making eggs. Merrick was making eggs, and I was gonna make eggs right after him, and he knew that. But as soon as he took his off, he made his sandwich. He's eating already, and I went to go put my eggs on, and they didn't do anything. And I didn't know he turned the stove off, so mine weren't cooking. And I was like, dude, what are you doing? Like, what's wrong with the stove?
How long did it take when you were like, wait a minute?
Like 5 minutes, probably.
Did you salvage that meal, or was that done? You had to throw it, toss it?
No, it was still fine. Just turned the stove on and got it going.
Yeah, all right. That's good. Happy ending for that one. Bennett, what's the craziest thing that's happened in your housing family? Any crazy stories or anything that, wasn't divulged to me? Anything that comes to mind?
I don't think so, no.
You don't think so? All right, you're gonna play it safe. Now, Max, I heard that we talk about the housing families and people kind of naturally get friends. Usually it's with like a little billet brother or billet sister. I heard that your best friend in the house is a four-legged one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? You want to go into
Yeah.
some details on that?
Yeah, I've honestly never been like my dog at home passed away a couple years ago, and honestly just haven't been around animals too much. But honestly, when I saw the two dogs, they're huge. I was definitely a little nervous, and Mia's like crazy. She like runs around like barking, jumping on people. But I don't know. Then like one day, like I think I gave her a piece of bread, and the love was just there. I mean, she literally follows me around everywhere. Like she sometimes waits by the downstairs for me to come up. Like, yeah, I have like a real like relationship with her. It's pretty cool.
The bond is tight.
The bond is tight.
Yeah. Now, that's obviously going to kind of be bittersweet then when you have to depart.
Yeah, it's going to be sad for sure. I'm going to miss her, but
You'll have to get selfies or something.
yeah,
Like, you have to
I
stay in
have a lot
contact.
of pictures. So.
Yeah. Now, guys, I'll ask you, we've asked each of the players, Nate, I'll start with you throughout the year, what they're watching on TV right now, what they're streaming, anything that you'd recommend since you got the platform right now, anything you're watching?
I'm watching Ozark right now, but my favorite show on Netflix is Prison Break.
Okay.
For sure.
Bennett, how about you? Anything that comes to mind?
I just started watching All American on Netflix. I really like that one.
And then Max, how about you?
Yeah, it's an old show, but I'm really gotten into Entourage.
It's a good one.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Now, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask, since this kind of became a theme throughout 4 or 5 shows this year, did you guys get in the Bachelor craze?
No, but a lot of guys did.
A lot of
that's
guys
for
did.
sure.
Nate, no?
No.
Bennett, no. You guys weren't feeling that?
No.
How about, we've had a year full of shows now. We've been doing this since, I think, January 8th was our first show. You guys, the players are good at coming out to most of these and supporting their fellow players when they're up here on stage. Just wondered, have you guys had a favorite Lowdown moment yet this year? Max, anything coming to mind?
Yeah, last week, I don't know if you saw, but we asked Will Zamolik what he does in his free time, and his answer is crunches and push-ups. So that was probably one of the best moments.
He's committed.
RiderTown.
Yeah, he's dedicated.
He is dedicated.
Bennett, can you attest to that, being your brother? Can you attest that is that true or no?
No.
No, that's not true. Do you want to divulge what he does do with his free time?
No.
No, you're going to keep down the best. All right. That's a good brother. How about your favorite moment, Bennett? Do you have one that sticks out to you?
I haven't seen a lot of shows, but the first show I saw was Nate Hanley. All of his responses were like, yeah, hurry up or something like that. So I thought that was pretty fun.
He kept it short and sweet, yeah. Nate, how about you? Anything that comes to mind?
I got to go with last week. It was, like Sash said, the thing that Curl said was really funny. But just having all the players up here, I thought they did a good job. So. Yeah.
Now, Coach, you've been involved in most of these this year. Have you had a moment that stuck out? You said, man, that was a classic. That's going down in Lowdown history right there.
Yeah, it's absolutely no contest. It could have been the best line in the entire history of the show. Crunches and push-ups.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, that's good delivery on that one. Now, guys, I'll have to ask you before we wrap up here and we get to the karaoke and we do our final thank yous to everybody, is there anything that we missed out, any stone that we've left unturned that you guys want to tell us about yourselves, that your housing families didn't throw out there or that we didn't cover from our search? Nate, anything coming to mind?
I don't think so.
All right. Anything about your fellow players, your fellow teammates that have come out throughout the years? Anything you want to throw out there?
I can't think of anything.
All right. Bennett, anything about you that we've left out?
I don't think so, no.
And then Max, how about you?
Yeah, I'm trying to think, but I
Can't think of anything?
I don't think so.
Coach, do you have anything that we've left out?
Not that we left out, but just a couple quick thank yous. I want to thank Bootsy for being here every week for us. So thanks Bootsy for that. And we've got a lot of housing parents here, housing families, I should say. So just a huge thank you to all of our housing families. Thank you very much for everything. And I'd also like to thank Brian, the owner here at Union Station, and his entire staff here for the great job that they do. So thank you to everybody. And thank you to our entire front office staff as well for making things happen for us. Thanks a lot.
I want to echo those thoughts as well. I posted this on Facebook the other day, but I want to share with all of you here too. This is now the 5th year they've hosted the Lowdown, and it's been a privilege here with the Cedar Rapids RoughRiders, interviewing dozens of talented and dynamic players throughout the years. I was counting it up the other day, trying to figure out throughout the different players. I think at least 40 or 50 different players have been up on stage here. And I've also had the fortune of highlighting not only players, but an organization that I think really does do it right. And they've been here for 20 years and in the community, and they have an impact both on and off the ice. So just a round of applause for the whole organization. And I do want to ask you, Coach, I'll give you final thoughts as well, but I do want to ask you not only your favorite or who you think is the best singer, but is there anybody who you're excited to see up on stage tonight of these players? Somebody that you think is just going to be a showstopper. Doesn't even have to be a good voice necessarily. Anybody in mind that you got? This is someone you got to stick around for this player or players.
Well, I watched this video last night of this one song. What was that one that I was singing today? Yeah, What Does a Fox Say? You know that one?
Yeah.
So I never heard it until last night, and all these animals that they talk about in the beginning, and so I'm really looking forward to to seeing that.
That should be a good one.
For sure. And then I just want to take a second. It's been great working along with Coop for, as he said, 5 years or so, and definitely the best dressed man in Eastern Iowa, as we can tell here. So
thanks to Coop. Thank you. And I do just want to distinguish, like I had to do earlier, since this is on the mic, those were not boos. They were just saying Coop, so everyone knows. It's all good. It's all good. We've got fan support out here, I think, so we're all right. Just want to thank all of you once again for coming out each and every week. We've done this show for 5 years. We start in January, and we go up and through April. We get crazy weather, obviously, that time of year. Sometimes we get ice, snow, sleet. We've had to have a few show cancellations, but we make them up. And then we've also had weeks where, it's kind of been iffy, but we have the show anyway, and you guys always come out and support us. We have a packed house tonight. It's fantastic. We're going to get to the fun with the karaoke. We're going to have the autographed jersey drawing, but I want to take a final thank you to thank all of you. And we are wrapping up our final Lowdown on RiderTown for the season. Thank you, everybody. Thanks. Okay, we're going to do the drawing, and this is for the jersey. We've been signing up for this throughout the entire year, so from January all the way up until this show.
Tell the people about the jersey to say like it's the autograph.
This is I think a 2017-2018 jersey. It's autographed by the whole team, number 8, and it's a heck of a jersey. So we'll see who wins it. You draw.
All right, Bennett's going to take the honors of drawing it. Nate will announce it.
Charlie Schwartz.
Yeah? Congrats, Charlie. Is he coming up?
Charlie.
Yay.
Oh,
Congrats. No speech, just a picture, we're saying. We're making a compromise up here.
Couple words.
All right, they're going to do a picture. Let's do a picture. Picture with the guys. Yeah. There you go, Chuck.
Charlie.
I also have to mention, just before we wrap up, that guys, obviously I wish you all the best with hockey, but if you need a side job, I think you guys could do QVC. That was a great job. You got the jersey flipping around and everything. That was good. I liked it. Thank you, everybody, once again. Another Lowdown on RiderTown. Thank you.